watu wa broad based government tuko kwa serikali. Mumeona out of 20 billion released by government for education, only 87 shillings zimefikia Nyanza schools. Mulidhani hii serikali itakuwa na loyalty na nyinyi? 87 bobata yezi buy omena to do.
Being the best girls school in Homa Bay County, the road leading to our school is pathetic. We are students from Moi Girls High School, Sindo. We are here mending our roads because our bus can't access the school.
Our teachers can't come to school early because of poor roads.
We can't get good medical attention because of the poor roads.
This is the road leading to Moi Girls Sindo, and after Moi Girls students working on it, vehicles can now pass through.
Amkeni, munatuma 87 bob kwa shule, lakini bado muko na pesa ya kufacilitate internet providers watupee mita namba ndo mfuatilie pesa ya bundles yenye tunatumia. Mumegoroka, mko na akili timamu nyinyi? First, the person who is bringing this bill, Keitanyi, wewe uko na wazimu. And secondly, focus on what Kenyans sent you to do. Ni saa 8 ya usiku, but this pulled me. Hey! Ati? Ngombe nyinyi?
John Buddy has to be the best CS we've ever had in this country. As in, if you look at the CSs that we have, the best performing CS is the CS of Treasury. You know, I don't remember the last time a CS balanced the book the way John Buddy is balancing these books. You know, there's a school which they sent 87 shillings now. Students, let's assume the students are 60 students. So what John Buddy does is, he says, oh, 60 students, let me tell you, send 87 shillings in that school so that if they want to withdraw 60 shillings for the 60 students, they can have a withdrawal fee of 27 shillings. So hence 87 shillings. Now, it is further balanced in a way that 60 shillings is going to be distributed among the 60 students, a shilling, and a shilling. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the theory of one man, 1 shilling, 1 student. Okay, let me just say 1 student, 1 shilling. Very nice. Now, so let me tell you, according to this theory, what 1 shilling can do. 1 shilling can ensure that kid eats a very good chapati in school, very good meal in school. That 1 shilling can ensure that the kid gets a very good uniforms from school. That 1 shilling can ensure that the kid gets enough textbooks and enough overflowing exercise books. That 1 shilling can ensure that the kid is secure in school and the health of the kid is being taken care of. Now, for the parents who have got kids in those kinds of schools, let me tell you what the CS is. Let me tell you what the CS is, or the distributor of this cash is trying to do. The distributor of this cash is trying to do this. It's trying to tell you, wale wenye wanaishi kwa ma 1 bedroom, so you know how 1 bedroom or 2 bedrooms, so you know how we live. So tunaishi hivi because the shower is here and the latrine is down here. Kuna wenye kuna tabia mbaya wanakuaga na socks. Kuna socks inakuaga hapo, utaiona tu imeanikwa hapo hivyo. Hautaijua ni ya nini, but utaona ka socks kameanikwa hapo. Socks chafu. Let me tell you the function of these socks. So sometimes there is a certain psychological kind of an effect where if you go to shower, you always feel like you want to, go for a long call. So, because you feel like you're going to waste the tissue paper, at that moment the tissue is a very valuable thing to you. What you do is, you improvise a socks, a very dirty one. You say, now this socks is going to be here for one purpose. When I go to shower and I feel like I want to go for a long call, after the long call, I'll do the shower as I wipe myself with the socks. Why? because for the socks, you can clean it and recycle it as a tissue when you are taking a shower. Now, what those people who are sending this money to these schools are trying to tell these parents, they're trying to say, they're trying to do this. See, they're taking that socks. After they finish doing their shit in the latrine, they wipe themselves. After wiping themselves, do you know what they do next? Do you know what they do next? They give you that shit to eat. Unaona hiyo shit? Kule hiyo shit. Unaona? Kule hiyo shit, because there is nothing you can do to them. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. You are shit to them. You are a big shit to them. And do you know what? That is what you are.
Why are we taking through this a special exam? Yeah. Why are we taking our children into this whole pain? Like it is begging. It's like we are begging the government to support these children. And let me tell you, when I talked about this issue, I even spoke to the VC of the university, Professor Wamboi Ngomi, and she confessed that they have been having a lot of issues. Let me tell you, it's only that most universities are not speaking. The amount of punishment and intimidation that is going through in the universities in the name of help must stop. So I'm wondering if really we are a serious government. I'm sorry, I am voted through the UDA ticket, so I'm part of this government. But really, if really we are serious, why are we bringing even issues of tokenism even to the university system? Going down to capitation, let's talk about capitation. I have a school in my constituency. I have schools in my constituency where I have confirmed that kids, learners were removed from Nemesis. They are no longer accounted for.
What do you mean removed? How?
Suspended from Nemesis, you know. Every school has its own portal where you log in and check your children whether they are listed in Nemesis. Okay. Because if your child is not listed in Nemesis, then it means you're not going to receive capitation per head of that child. You're not going to receive money for books, textbooks. You're not going to get activity fee. So I was surprised that in my constituency, I had over 311 students as per February this year that were suspended from Nemesis. When I followed up, it was shocking that was just an iceberg of the big problem. And that no wonder these guys are planning to run away from Nemesis and now want to introduce something else. Because if we really do audits and get to know what has been happening with that Nemesis funding, you'll be shocked. So 311 students, secondary day school students. I didn't even do boarding. I didn't even do primary. That was just day secondary schools. The highest number of students removed from one school was 157 learners in one school called William Ngiru Secondary School. And I have facts. I followed up as a member of parliament, went to parliament, and asked the question to the minister. Why are my students being removed from Nemesis? Why are you suspending children? And he denied. You know the law of parliament, the regulations of parliament. Yeah. If you claim something, you have to substantiate. Yeah. And I tabled a document to the minister, and I challenged him, can you go and check whether I am right? And he confirmed I was right. So if these students were removed in February, what happened last year? It means they didn't get their allocation.
So is it deletion, or they have been moved to a different school?
No.
Happened?
It is total suspension. Total.
Was the reason explained?
Nobody has ever explained even now. And do you know now why they are panicking? They are panicking because they have already stolen money. That is money that was diverted. Because every child is supposed to receive some money. So if you suspended...
Stolen, diverted to where? To who?
Who knows? But that money was not accounted. Those children were not accounted for. Okay. And I wish we can actually do a national audit to every individual school in this country. Get to know the real physical head count versus the theoretical evidence, or rather data. All right. The theoretical means what is apparently supposed to be for that school versus the head count. You'll be shocked. So let me tell you, I insisted in parliament that we must do a national audit on Nemesis. All right. We must account for every shilling that is supposed to be sent in Githunguri schools. No wonder there is a lot of panic. Now they want to move away from Nemesis, abandon Nemesis, and introduce a new system called KIMS, so that we do not fall. Inaitwa Chemis ama Kims?
Kims ni uchaguzi.
Hiyo inaitwa nini? Chemis.
Kenya Education Management Information System.
That is it. Before we move from Nemesis to Chemis, whatever it is, can we do a national audit and account for every... I'm sure you saw what happened on Friday.
Mheshimiwa Mushomba, let's take a break.
Hold on a minute before you take a break. Last Friday, the Daily Nation had a story about one school that received 87 shillings for capitation.
87 shillings?
Yes. So are you telling me that school has only, even one student does not even anyway get 87 shillings?
Okay.
So who is this who is sending 87 shillings in one school?
Wakenya tumeamka kwa mshtuko leo. Tumesoma katika vyombo vya habari, tunaambiwa kwamba sasa watoto wetu ambao wanastahili kukalia mitihani ya kitaifa, serikali imependua ile free examination. Sasa president anasema kuanzia next year wazazi waanze kulipa examination fee. President William Ruto, my brother, listen to me, don't go there. Watu maskini, they will drop out of school. Ukihitaji wao walipe pesa ya mitihani, that one no.
Guys, yani hata after kutishia maisha ya kwamba exam hakuna, yani government haina pesa ya kulipa exam, sasa wame extend whereby unajua Uhuru alikuwa amekanga capitation ya almost 5 billion yearly for 10 years yenye ilikuwa na sustain shule, na ndio wazazi walikuwa wanaweza kulipa shule na school fees kidogo. But right now hii government Kasongo ameitoa, so capitation ya almost 5 billion imetolewa. So starting next year 2026 wazazi watajisort, na umeona economy venye iko sana, shindo hata kweli wenye wako huko kwa mama mboga kama watawezana, cause we were surviving na hiyo pesa yenye Uhuru alikuwa ametoa ya capitation, sasa imetolewa. Education tukatolewa CBC, sijui tukaenda CBE, next year utasikia ni CBD. Haya, new model haifanyi, watoto wa university bado wanangojea capitation iingie. Yani tuko tu
the students will be able to do their exams without making payments for it, especially those who cannot afford. But when you look at the restructuring, the Ministry of Education is going to look at why should we pay for those who can pay. Like today, if my child is doing KCSE, the government pays for that child and is a child of a CS. Why should that be the case? So we want to look at the whole question of who should be paid for. And that we will do for the next year's examination. For this year, it is too late. We are going to process examination for all the students, whether you are able or you are not able. But this is a question that the Ministry of Education must look into. We must assess who should we pay examination fees for. Is it everybody in this country who is doing exam, or those who cannot afford? Because we cannot afford to subsidize people who don't need the subsidy.
And how will you determine who is able to pay for examination and who is not able to pay for it?
The Ministry of Education must come up with a criteria of identifying those who can pay examination fee. For example, if your child is learning in a private school where you pay 300,000, 1 million shillings in a year, honestly, can't you pay 5,000 for examination fee for that child? Why should you make Kenyans, taxpayers, some of whom can barely make a living, to pay examination fee for your child?
You spoke that the Ministry of Education has come up with a criteria. Some might argue that education is free in Kenya and that it's not fair to segregate, make some pay and some not pay. What would be your response to that?
The responsibility of the government is to ensure that all children get education. So those who can afford it would afford it. Those who can't afford it, it is the duty and responsibility of the government to make sure that it is afforded, those children afford or get access to education, especially basic education. So there should be no worry that there is any child who will not get basic education in this country. All children will get basic education. The government will facilitate that. Those who are capable of providing education to their children should provide education to their children. And in any case, they provide in private schools and many other places.
Yani, you want to tell me, that of all the things that this guy can take away from people, he has decided to take away free exams. Education is such an important pillar. Now, they are saying that parents will have to part with a certain amount of money for national exams. But poor parents, poor students will be paid for. So how will they know somebody is poor? And why are they parting away with such an important thing? Ametuiba kila kitu. Mpaka sasa anakujia pesa ya shule. Why? Why? Do you even need to talk about zile places zenye already sahizi with free education watoto hawaendi shule? Alafu niambie mzazi atalipa tena pesa ya nini? Pesa ya exam. We are paying taxes every day. We are one of the most taxed places in this continent. MPs wetu ndio hao wako na mapesa mabasari sijui wanapeanga nani ma CDF money. Money is being looted every day. Pesa zina withdraw kwa treasury. Ndio yeye ameenda China amechukua loans. Ndio hiyo NHIF sijui kutoka kumigrate NHIF to 104 billion. Sasa hizo kubuild NHIF yenyewe ilikuwa inataka what 30 billion or how many billion?
The only condition that I can take a CS education in Ruto's government if Ruto agrees to make education free. Why? Because President Ruto is a product of free education. During President Ruto's time in the 1987, when he was at the University of Nairobi studying botany, during that time, President Ruto was being given what we call boom. Boom was a grant, was not a loan. Now we have a help and introduced the new education funding model. I told you that a parent lacks only 9,000 Kenya shillings to take a child to a day school, secondary school. What about now that a parent should pay 100,000, 200,000, 600,000 for medicine? Will this child really get education? So I can accept that CS on condition that he announces in public that education is free from primary all the way to secondary all the way to the university.
Today we are having our leavers party and we are very happy about it. Being the last group of girls, it has not been easy for us to study with boys, but God has been with us and we are grateful. Thank you.
Quick question. Mbona tunalipa politicians mshahara alafu tunaongeza allowances za kufund lifestyle zao? Kwani mshahara zao ni za kazi gani? For example, unapata mtu analipwa 600k, 400k ama 1 million ama whatever amount analipwa. Alafu on top of that, kuna allowances sasa. Kuna allowance ya nyumba, kuna allowance ya magari, kuna allowance ya kufuel hizo gari, kuna allowances za hospitali, kuna even travel allowances for some of them. But this person bado analipwa mshahara. Mbona hawaizi fund hizo vitu zote using mshahara zao like normal Kenyans? Sisi wa Kenya ndio tumefanya our politicians wana behave kama demigods. Tumeweka hapa, alafu sisi tuko na huko chini. Na hata hawatuoni. They can't even see us from where we've put them. They can't see all the way down there. That is why we need to change some of these laws.
Luchivia, Ndiyo. Labda hujui ni nani utapigia kura in 2027. Yes. Lakini ile kitu muhimu zaidi Ndiyo. Ni kwamba ujue yule mwenye hautapigia kura. Yes. Are we together? You may not know who you will vote for in 2027. Yes. But it is important to know who you will not vote for in 2027.
The best way for Kenyans to vote in 2027 is two ways. One, don't vote for anybody who did not deliver when it came to their manifesto. Number two, do not vote for anybody who had any previous corruption cases. For example, when it comes to Sakaja, the current Nairobi governor wants to run for a second term. Now, I will be damned if I vote for Sakaja considering just one part of the manifesto, which is roads. He said that he will fix roads and he will fix drainage and water will be distributed to different parts of Nairobi. He said this and he has not delivered. Nairobi to go 2025, we are almost at the half of the year and the roads are flooding insanely even if it rains just a little bit. So what logic would someone be using if they vote for Sakaja for the second time? What logic would somebody be using if they vote for Pasaris, who is definitely probably going to run again for Nairobi women rep, and she has not been proactive in talking about like femicide cases and protecting women, which is her job. in parliament. If we just focus on those two things, not voting for anybody who had any corruption case and not voting for anybody who has messed up their manifesto, I feel like Kenyans will be really, really far. Instead of focusing on voting for somebody because of their tribe, because they paid you 200 shillings, because you are voting for them just so that they can remove somebody else, and you hope that they are going to do something better. Please, I think it's time that we remove ourselves from the situation. And also to the Kenyan youth, we are the majority. When you look at people who are 35 and under, we are the majority when it comes to the population. By 2027, let's say all of us will be adult status and all of us can get a voter's ID and actually vote. I am really, really, really encouraging people to register to vote when that time comes. Let's not vote for people because of any other reason except those two. Let's be logical this time, please. Like, our lives depend on it.
Kwani wewe utakubali upige kura mtu aibe? Wewe kama Mkenya mwenye unateseka as we speak now, utakubali uende upige kura 2027 alafu mtu achukue aongeze rais? Kwa sababu anatuambia kwamba hakuna rais ashawahi kuwa one term president. Sasa wanasema hata kama rais hatapita, watachukua kidogo kidogo kutoka kwa zile zetu waongeze rais apite. Kwani wewe kama Mkenya who are going through a very difficult times as we speak now, are you going to allow people to steal your elections? Kwani tutakuwa wajinga aina gani? Tutakuwa wajinga aina gani turuhusu watu waibe kura zetu yenye tumepiga na venye sisi tunateseka saa hii? Atuwaibe waongeze yule mwingine apate aingie kama rais. Kwani sisi tutakuwa wajinga aina gani? Si wajinga walisha Kenya. Sasa itakuwa aje mtu atuibie kura zetu?
2027 at the tallying center at the ward level, we will have Gen Z representatives to count the votes and to announce the votes. Alafu tutaungana kama Gen Z, kama ni Nairobi County, kuna Gen Z wa kule Githurai, Gen Z wa Kangemi, atatuambia ni ngapi na tutajua ni votes ngapi za rais zimepigwa katika Nairobi County, na tutafanya hivyo katika Kakamega County, tutafanya hivyo katika Bungoma County. Hamna haja
na magavana, MCA, mnataka zile za rais peke yake.
Lazima rais ametuchosha bana, lazima kwenda nyumbani.
One time. Sasa nini? Ground. Atuongea. Sawa.
Hivi venye nanawa hivi. Ndio nanawa Ruto. Nimenawa Ruto kabisa. Nimenawa Ruto. Ruto Kasongo nimekunawa.
My people, unaingia kuiva alafu unaletewa one time kama chesa. Mulisema hamutaki kuchelewa in anything. Well, Kenyans, you never disappoint, and this is the reason as to why I just love my country, Kenya. Munakuanga macho na munakuanga sete in anything. Anyway, Aluta, the struggle continues. We have to drain the swamps.
Ese yo moyo.
Ruto must go. Ruto must go. Ruto must go. Ruto must go.
Enyewe Ruto must go. Enyewe Ruto must go. By the way, Ruto must go. Enyewe Ruto must go. Wash fire, Ruto must go. Enyewe Ruto must go. By the way, Ruto must go.